See if this works. Should be live. Oh, well, it worked for a second. All right, we're live. Hope you guys are doing well out there. I'm still learning the live thing, so and I'm using up a lot of space here up on the YouTubes. So let me find. Dude, waiting to get woke. Welcome to the live stream. It's gonna happen. I can promise you that it's gonna happen on the stream. If you weren't woke yet, you about to get woke. I hope you guys are all safe out there. It's crazy times. The paradox has never been more apparent. People have never been more triggered. It's been crazy. Hey, McKenna Westgate, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thanks for checking in. Thanks for hanging out with me on a Sunday afternoon. I really appreciate it. Hopefully, some of these clips that I have queued up will work. And we can have some fun this afternoon. I don't want to comment too much on modern things that are going on, so much as principle to me. Yeah, the beard is a maniac, Will. It comes back quick. But I do want to talk about, I don't know, I want to talk about the movement versus like the protest, right? Like I want to talk about principles. Principles are what really matters. There's a lot of people right now who are adamant about stuff and they are freaking out. They are being, they're just instigating shit. Like Trump's speech the other day. Oh my God. It made me mad. Like I wanted to go burn down like a Waffle House. And I love Waffle House. I would never do such a thing. It'd be terrible. But, there's just a lot of triggering going on right now. And, so I 100% am for the movement. I was at the protest yesterday here in Athens, which is not much of one now. They shot tear gas at people the first night, completely peaceful. And that's pretty frustrating and upsetting. But it's been a lot more mellow. I mean, it's Athens. The students aren't even here. It's a small town. So it's mostly just a helicopter flying around up top. And I respect everybody and what they're trying to do. What's up, Lehman? Hey, Scott. I got your book, or at least two of them. I got to go check the mail again. I'm really excited about those. But yeah, I mean, I'm not going to run out my front door and start screaming that I'm racist because I mean, look at me, dude. I can't do that. Like, some people are going to do what people are going to do. I look like a bouncer at a Trump rally. So, I got to be careful. Other people are going to have different reactions to things. And I admire however you want to hold, whatever you need to do, to work through the things, the pains, and all that stuff. Holding space is freedom. Holding space sounds woo-woo and cheesy, but it is what it is, and I want to talk about the yin, the emptiness, the non-action, the aspects of freedom that are often overlooked because people are so just entranced and hypnotized with the mechanism of force. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the problem, because force just creates more force, and then before you know it, we're in a quagmire, Operation Mindfuck, and we're all screwed because we were trying to do the right thing, but we didn't see the divide, right? It's like, so if somebody gets beat at a protest, there's a lot of things, like what the media is going to try and do is try to make us choose groups of people, which we know are like energetic informational structures. I feel uncomfortable at the protest. I was there yesterday. I felt uncomfortable about it. just because like I just always feel uncomfortable in a group setting where there's like a bunch of people that want me to do something. Like I don't want to comply with any of that. Like it makes me feel weird. And like chanting stuff just kind of makes me feel self-conscious, you know? That's sort of stuff that I feel like is just to me personal. And I just like, I want to share that with like, you know, some sort of it's sort of spiritual and things like that. So, I mean, I admire people's bravery and going out there for sure. And however you want to do, but the protest itself, I've never been, you know, really for protest. In large part due to that it's just so easily controlled now, especially with the social media and agent provocateurs and stuff like that. We definitely saw a lot of that over the past couple of weeks. So I think it's really important to just distinguish between, you know, principles, like what, who's right. I mean, just because, you know, Antifa, you know, got beat up, well, good. But we don't like them. We don't like Antifa, or we don't like the cops. Like, I don't personally have a lot of love for the cops just because of some experience that I've personally had, and I have not really enjoyed it very much. I have a big problem with authority anyway, and you know, I don't know. I know there's probably a lot of good people out there though. And again, this goes back to the principle thing, right? And like policemen are supposed to, you know, swear an oath to, you know, whether you like it or not, the Constitution, whatever. And I've been sort of getting a little bit into the political, but mostly the yin aspect of political, right? Like freedom, right? Like liberty, like those types of things, which a lot of people I don't think really understand as well what those things are. I don't know. I'm trying to read. If your philosophy is cracked, I'm trying to help you out by reading books to you, like this one, the No Treason. I'm working on that one, and I came out with a bunch of other stuff. Oh man, you guys are hilarious. It is because I'm a hippie. Hey Ronald, how's it going? But you know, I've never really been one to try to tell people what to do, right? But you know, got to let people make their own choices and represent themselves their own way. You know, it's just weird when you fall into the group dynamic. It happens every time. It turns into, you know, a group mind. And sometimes that's really weird. You know, it's sometimes fun. And in improv, for instance, like we build a group mind every scene and then it's gone. You know, it sort of dissolves. And you can really feel that stuff. But you can really feel it at a protest too. You know, somebody's got a bullhorn and they're chanting, and it makes me uncomfortable. I mean, that's all, you know, but, anyway, so got some new audiobooks coming out. I got to plug my Patreon, cult over there. Please follow me on Patreon. And you can follow me on Venmo. I have one of those. It's, at Bootsy Greenwood. Follow me there. That's my new favorite social media. But yeah, so the protest versus the movement. Like I'm so 100% for the movement. As the protests continue to go on, there's like people who are like rah rah. It's like, let's protest forever. And it's like I understand making your point heard. I totally get that, and I'm 100,000% for it. Like this is important because racism's stupid. It's very ignorant, and it's something that is learned. Okay, I don't know if it's necessarily always taught, but it's always learned. It's just like ordinary average people, everyone has, you know, these intuitive things that we know, you know. It's like and equality, which is probably not the best word, right? Like, I don't know. It's the best word I've got at the moment. Is inherent. It's just an inherent thing that we all know and understand. Nobody's better or worse. And, you know, we've got, you know, all this push about it and people arguing and trying to create more drama and stir up more and incite more, like Trump's speech, you know, or many other things. And I saw a meme the other day. This chick, she's pretty funny. I really like Grace. Grace's channel on YouTube. She does a good job. Hello, internet friends. But it's like, you know, this is very two different messages. Health experts say you should still close your business and stay indoors unless it's to protest. That's two different messages. But but that's part of the mechanism of the system. And I think there's definitely systemic racism. I mean, we're talking about that as a system for sure. And then they just fuel the fire on the media. You don't need them. You don't need to fight them. You just need to convince the pitchfork people that the torch people want to take away their pitchforks, right? And so it's very insidious and all of that. So, I mean, what is the opposite? I was trying to look it up before the stream. Like, what is the opposite of racism? It's like unity and, all these types of positive things. I think we should try to focus on, the positive things as much as we possibly can, whatever we want more of. That's the thing where we need to shift our attention to. Our attention is really our biggest weapon in things like this. So we need to just remember to come from a place of love. I have it in my notes. It's the number one thing, like love. It always is that, as cheesy as it sounds. I don't care. It is what it is. I'm an open-minded person. I want to clean this energy out and open it up to other people, and get through this. Cause I don't think this is going to go down like, whoever's pushing these agendas thinks it's going to, even with the AI. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it gets pretty bad for a little while and then people break out of it because people are starting to ask a lot of questions. Ronald says he doesn't believe protest changes anything. All protests are co-opted by the media and other pendulums. And I tend to agree. I mean, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think for a minute it does. And there are things that we could do, like Doug Stanhope, man. He has this great bit where he's talking about like if we all just went to Bank of America and applied for loans that we couldn't qualify for and just tied that banking system up, then it would completely ruin Bank of America. And that would be actually an effective use of our time because what's going on right now in downtown Athens with the helicopter and the, just going over downtown, all these businesses that were closed for 2 months, all the mom and pops and local businesses that were closed for 2 months for COVID, now that they can open, they can't open anymore because, I mean, back to this, close your business. If you're not Amazon, then close your business, go out and protest. And so there's some people who want you out there protesting, right? So as we're talking about what's really woke, we need to think about, potential traps that are pretty easy to fall into. We need to remember that, well, many of us are not as smart as we realize we are. We always want to be right, and we will prove ourselves right no matter what. And that's why I put together this presentation to prove myself right now. Now, this is an interesting book. It was written a long time ago. Edward L. Bernays. You probably may be familiar with this book. A lot of people aren't. My friend who went to school partly for propaganda and things like that in the university system, he's never read this book or even heard of it. And this is like the cornerstone of mass media. Like this one and Public Opinion by Walter Lippmann are like the cornerstones. And I mean, you can see the first chapter is Organizing Chaos. These are all like stuff we've heard before a lot. And like, I don't know, you guys have probably heard some of it. But the first paragraph of this book is very incriminating. The conscious and intelligent manipulation of the organized habits and opinions of the masses is an important element in democratic society. Those who manipulate this unseen mechanism of society constitute an invisible government, which is the true ruling power of our country. Paragraph 1. It goes on, and this is from 1928, and this guy worked with Goebbels in Germany, and this is just I couldn't believe this book when I forgot about it actually because I was talking with Kelly about his studies and stuff, and I was like, "You never read that book?" And it's interesting because it's like I think it's probably one of the more common ones, but just keeping in mind that. All of the spin out there that's happening right now, we don't really know what's really going on. This was an interesting. I'm going to check back in with you guys here and see what you're saying here. Aw, BBB, love you. Adelina, awesome. Awesome. How are you guys? I hope y'all are doing well. I want to talk about this stuff because it's conspiratorial, right? It's it's a little out there. It's a little out there. So sometimes we got to put on our tinfoil hat. But I don't want to do it in a way that's fearful or whatever, because again, it's all about attention, and that's really what we need to understand. If we can understand that, then we can shift things and play outside the game, because the only way to win is not to play the game. So, we'll get to some other ideas a little bit later on as far as ways to combat this. But yeah, I just wanted to I just wanted to acknowledge that. I'm not trying to give anything away here either. And hopefully some of these links will still work. Let's see here. Yeah, Wendy Olson made me that hat. She's the best. But we need to be thinking about this. We need to be thinking about things from all angles, because pendulums and egregores, as they've been called in the Western esoteric, these collections of energies, these ideas, these ideological informational structures or entities, which are, I think, unconscious to large part, but may be also somewhat conscious. I don't know. It doesn't matter. That's not the point. But these things are, networks. And so divide and conquer is the strategy. What do we have that's different between this person and that person? What can we focus on as far as the group goes, but not as far as the principle. So I was saying earlier about, people getting, hey, Ralph, you're the man. By the way, I'm figuring out a way for us to do this together as well. So I'm real close. And now I lost my train of thought, but the principles of things, right? Like, for instance, the non-aggression principle. This is great. This is so simple, right? Like, what did Jesus teach? What did Buddha teach? What did Gandhi talk about? Peace. The Beatles even. What John Lennon. God, I love John Lennon. What a train wreck. But God, I love that guy. And so many others. They talked about peace, and it's clear we're not taught the simple things, The simplest things are like the most woke. Everybody wants to channel, a past life body or some shit, and it's like, well, great. What's that going to do, But I think we need to keep our feet on the ground and our heads in the clouds as well, feeling love and putting out emotions into the world. There are two worlds, clearly a physical world and a mental one. We don't see a lot of the stuff that goes on in the mental world, but this is a very simple idea, the non-aggression principle. So if somebody's at a protest and a cop hits him in the mouth, and then the guy hits the cop, well, whose fault is that? Like, who's to blame? Who started it, right? Who started it? And in school, it was backwards for us. In school, the teacher would always say the same thing. And this, talk about a pendulum. I don't care who started it. I'm going to finish it. I don't care who started it. I'm going to finish it. I guess you are. I guess you are. And you're going to teach bad philosophy, because that's just not the proper way to talk about this. Now, we've got this bullying problem and all these other things stem from these types of shitty ideas in society. It's a bad philosophy problem, which is why I try to read books, Books are very, very helpful and can help us understand the principle. The principle of non-aggression is don't start no shit. There won't be no shit. And that's so simple and easy to understand. But the government, in my opinion, is already taking a forceful act, not even in my opinion, it's a fact, toward us, period, and throwing tear gas on protesters who are completely innocent and nonviolent is just disgusting. Not to mention the previous acts that led up to that, all disgusting, and what's what's concerning to me, I think, is that we're going to get into this like legislation trap, and then we're going to try and do all of these measures through the corrupt system that's causing these problems, because the system is the problem, you know. So then we try and regulate it. It's like, look, dude, we already had due process, you know. We already had, you know, innocent until proven guilty. You're not supposed to be able to kill anybody for any reason, you know. Innocent until proven guilty, dude. I mean, goodness gracious. It's not like we need more laws on the books. That's clearly not helping. I think the problem is people don't understand a very basic, very simple philosophy, that the aggressor is always the asshole in every situation, as we've always known since childhood. The bully that flicked us in the ear to start some shit, he was an asshole. And, you know, instead of the teacher being like, well, I don't care who started it. Well, I mean, then he gets to start it with everybody. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, as a collective, if there's 2 or 3 people, and this happened in school, you know, and I'm not saying violence is awful. It's never the answer. And it only begats more violence, of course. You know, we all know this. Force creates more force. And that's what I'm saying, like a legislation trap. It's not about that. Remember, holding space, freedom, openness is what, you know, we want to see. You know, that's I think where we need to focus, you know, and unifying and stuff, you know, talking about who's wrong. It's a false choice. Are you with the military and the police, or are you with Antifa? Well, that's a false choice. I'm not with either one of those. Fuck any group. Like, I don't like any group. None. Not a single group. There's not a one group that I like, you know. Yeah, that includes your drum circle. Hippie, you know, especially your drum circle. But, you know, they all make me feel uncomfortable, if I'm being completely honest. Church made me feel uncomfortable. I would rather read that stuff in a book. You know, like the protest made me feel uncomfortable the other day. But that's not anybody else's fault. And it's just the type of person that I am. I'm just kind of weird. So to me, like, I think I'm just like a little bit more sensitive to stuff like that. And also I've been through a couple of different things that, you know, have changed. Let's see here. Some of the comments here. Exposure to true information does not matter anymore. A person who is demoralized is unable to assess true information. And that may be true. Yeah. I mean, that may be true. Some people might be just beyond, you know, pardon the lawnmower out there. I need to cut my grass, but my AC's been out all week. So, you know, that's fun. I'm trying to do this at 5. I would probably ordinarily do it later and have a beverage and like wind down and like have the end of my week kind of thing happen. But, you know, doing it at 5, and I do appreciate you guys so much for hanging out. Yeah. So he says the facts, you know, tell people nothing. And even if you shower someone with information and authentic proof, with documents, with pictures, he'll still refuse to believe it. And in large part, that's absolutely, you know, the case. And trying to wake people up, again, it's force. It's like, for instance, racism is not going away as long as people are racist. You can't change a racist person. You can't fix them. You can't make them any different, unfortunately. You have to just figure out how to deal with that, you know, focus on these principles, you know, because it's a shitty philosophy. It's learned. It's not inherent in a human being. It's not natural, right? But it is going to exist. So the more we fight against it, what happens? Don't we know? Like, you fight against it. Antifa, the anti this, I'm anti this. Well, that's not a clear position. Anti something is not a clear position. You're just against something. That's nothing. You're just creating more of what you're against. So, you know, people don't understand that. That's where we really need to, you know, let people realize, you know, that that they're really in control, and we are too. Man, it's just such a shame what can be twisted too with the mass media. I'll see if this will play because this is really interesting as it's so old. Let's see if it'll play.
It has its own tremendous possibilities.
Violence broke out again last night as some young people were prevented from meeting peaceably in the downtown area by noticeably nervous, if not to say trigger-happy police.
All right, you can't see anything because it's from 1977.
Frank Bushman, attorney for the young people who are to be arraigned in court tomorrow morning, pointedly remarked on this overreaction by the police.
But
I hereby declare this an unlawful assembly.
Late last night, disorder broke out among a small, unruly mob as our guardians of the peace quietly and efficiently, in spite of extreme provocation, restored order.
I command you to disperse.
All right. So I'll cut to the chase. They used the exact same clips for both of these stories, and this is in 1977. Which is light years ago. I'm glad my neighbor's yard looks so good. Mine looks awful. Oh my God. Mine looks like, it just looks terrible. It looks like a grain field. It looks like I'm trying to grow some sort of, I don't know, witch's potion in the front yard or something. But the point is, clearly you can take the same stuff, cut it up, and see two completely different narratives. Now, one of the coolest things that I saw, and hopefully I can pull this back up, before we get to my boo over there, is this. And so I deleted it because I was trying to get everything going for the live stream and I couldn't find certain things, but let's see where we're at. Yeah. It was one of these here. Videos where they just took like all of these different media channels and they're saying exactly the same thing, all these local media channels, because like there's only six corporations that own the majority of the media that we have. So back to this, that's man, it's just insane the amount of spin. So I don't know, for people who are just like waking up, oh God, look at that guy. Now that's a racist. Okay. Like look at that guy's eyes. Ooh. Oh God, John D. Rockefeller. I don't even know why I had that pulled up. Jeez Louise. Must have been cleaning the house and need some motivation to run. Go for a jog. Whoa, God. Oh dear Lord. Let's see here. That lawnmower's still going. That's good stuff, man. I love it. But yeah, so a lot of people, I think, though, so this is true. You're exactly right, Will. As you mentioned before, all this stuff, but eventually something happens, right? And somebody does decide to seek out this information on their own. They want to, it really is nightmare material. That guy is horrifying. I feel like I need to take a bath, and it's not because my air conditioning is out, but it's just, eventually people do, though, start to become aware that this media manipulation type of thing can happen. And at that point, I just think it's important to have a bit of a guiding light and some, solid principles, some solid ideas and understandings of these differentiations, because these false choices between, like, let's say the cops or the protesters, for instance, it's a false choice. It's like you're either with us or you're with the terrorists. You're either with us or you're with the virus. You're trying to kill my grandma, and all that stuff is going on right now too. They're using contact tracing already for these protests, even though it was only supposed to be for, tracing the virus. And so I could have told you. I mean, nobody's surprised. Nobody's surprised here. But yeah, we suffer for bad philosophy. So as people are coming into these ideas and realizing, oh my God, like maybe I'm being lied to, because I know exactly what that's like. I went through it, and I've known a few other people who have. It's really tough. And it's emotional and depressing. And I mean, when your worldview crumbles before your very eyes, you need help, and you need people who care and want to help you and educate you with the philosophy we should have had. It's like in 3rd or 4th or 5th grade, the philosophy we should have had is the non-aggression principle. That's so simple. It's like the simplest things too are like the most inherent truths. It's like, not to go and beat someone. How obvious is that? Not to just go and start beating someone. That's, that. Like, nobody needs to tell you that it's wrong. It's inherent. It's obvious, So just trying to talk a little bit more about that. Holding the space, opening up. I'm reading a couple of other books right now, and I just want to mention too that I'm hooking it up in the binaural beats department with some new stuff coming out all next week, so that you guys can, burn the insides of your brain with some weird subliminal message that I cooked up for you. Oh my God, Rothschild does look like the real Monty Burns. I mean, he looks just like Monty Burns. It's just so creepy, dude. The guy's such a creep. It's disgusting. So, all right, let's see if I can. Okay. So we're clear, right? We're clear that it's really about principle here. It's about freedom. It's about love. It's force is the dangerous game. But yeah, I mean, whatever. I don't need to find this and play it for you. Whatever. You can look that stuff up. But I wanted to get in and hang out with my my boo here. Hopefully this video will load. I'll just start cutting everything else out. This is an interesting idea that Trump is a light worker. So these are these are the types of ideas that can ruin a person who just woke up. Trump is a light worker? What? And I think it's meant to be provocative, and ultimately, I will say this about this lovely lady, that she does ultimately make a really good point in the end of the video. Now, I meant to go through this and make some notes, but I got distracted looking at other stuff. And I watched it through and didn't make any notes because I was laughing a lot. But I mean, ultimately, like I said, a good point is made. Now, I don't know how you guys who are watching this video feel about the Q movement, but yeah, I bet you are about to go off. I don't know how you guys feel about the Q movement, but I mean, ultimately, again, this is propaganda, I think. I mean, whether or not it's actually a thing, that'd be great, right? Wouldn't that be great? Oh, this genius, evil, diabolical Cheeto, is secretly looking out for us on our, for our best interest while delivering speeches that are so insightful to violence that it makes me want to choke a Smurf, What the I swear to God. I'm just not buying it, I mean, it's a really good psyop, if it's a psyop, and even the Q people are Q versus Antifa. That's the problem. Stop versing yourself against a group. Stop going against a group. That's the problem here. Stop identifying with any freaking group, dude. You are more than that. You are an identity. There's a lot more to you than some stupid group, all right, so this is interesting. So there's a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of people who are into the Q thing. Let's see what I think. Who I think would be my twin flame if she wasn't a lesbian and I wasn't who I really am. It's so close. It's almost there. Like I can feel it, but it was like it was another life. Maybe just soulmates this time. She's not my twin flame. You know, I I will say though that I think she's really really got some good points at the end of this video. It's a lot of fun. It's interesting too, thinking about the twin flame thing. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but that's like another idea. There was this guy who posted that he had like 4 twin flames or something. He posted on his Instagram. Oh my God, his 4 twin flames. One was a supermodel, who was actually my twin flame. Okay, I'm kidding. No, but the whole spiritually dating thing, it's so interesting, you know. I'm just learning about it, and it's kind of new to me. I've never really talked to anybody who was, I guess what you would consider woke. But, you know, recently I have, and it's been really amazing so far. But, yeah, I guess in the past, I dated one girl who was a psychic vampire. So I have experience with that. But the alternative here, I'm not. So I don't know. I don't know what our dear's relationship is like, but I hope it's a good one, you know, in this life, maybe in the next life. Okay, I'm gonna check in with you guys. I'm Zorgonian by birth, but Venusian by spirit animal. Oh, it's so good. Yeah, I love her alien video. It's got to be my favorite. But when I saw this, Kelly and I sat on the couch, and I laughed so hard just watching this. It's so funny. All right, let's start it out from the beginning.
Live video. For those of you who are new to my channel, welcome. And thank you for being here. Once again, you know, every live video, I try and push the boundaries and blow your mind, maybe just a little bit. And I'm hoping to give you a different perspective today on what we would consider maybe acceptable. And I love that. I love switching our reality. I love switching our perception. That's what I feel like I am here to do, is really help everyone switch their reality and perception. And my shirt today says metaphysical workout, and that's what I hope to bring all of you today. I hope to work out your mind. I hope to expand your consciousness and allow you to think about things from an entirely...
Can we stop saying expand our consciousness? New rule! I mean, sorry, Bill Maher, but you're kind of old and tired anyway. Can we please, for God's sakes, never, ever, 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 for the history of the rest of mankind, ever again say expand your consciousness? Because provoking someone is not doing any such the like. But all right, I don't mean to interrupt, but I'm just gonna ask that we just God, this freaking vernacular, you know, vernacular, bro. You gotta be with it on the vernacular.
Different reality or perspective. So thank you. Welcome. Welcome everyone on Facebook. I've got you down here. Welcome everyone on YouTube. I've got you up here. Today I wanted to start off by doing a little bit of an intention setting. This right here is, oh, it's all tangled, but this is a cosmic tag. So basically what this means is that on one side of this tag, when I untangle it, on one side of the tag, I have my tall gray Zeta self, and on the other side of the tag, I have my human. So what I love to do in the morning is I love to take this, I made it, and I love to flip it up and say, who do I need to be today?
Okay, let's open up let's open this up and see. What do you guys think? Who is Elizabeth going to be today? Is she going to be her Zeta self, her gray, which is her alien DNA, which is what makes her truly different? Or is she going to be her regular self, or her Elizabeth April human self? What do you guys think? In the meantime, I have a few hats over on my Gumroad page. If you like the design, I'm thinking about changing the logo here pretty soon. I still have a few of those left, just while I'm waiting. Yes, unfortunately, I do think she thinks she's for real. Oh my God. Oh my God. So funny. I mean, she's selling like enlightened panties on Craigslist, you know, like Pleiadian underpants. It's a new website. It's good stuff. Oh man. I mean, yeah, but again, I'm and you know, not to spoil it, but at the end of this, I was kind of impressed with. So let's find out what she's going to be.
And once again, I'm going to do it again. Okay. Who do I need to be for this live video? And then, without looking at it, you put it on. And whichever one is outward facing, you know that that's who you need to be that day. And so today, it's Elizabeth. And it's interesting because you would think, just like flipping a coin or...
Well, see, that's the soul of her that I know from our past lives together, is that Elizabeth soul. I'm not really familiar so much with her her alien ancestry. Like, we don't go back that far in past lives, you know, only, you know, 50, 60 million years or so.
Throwing a dice, the odds are always going to be even. But, you know, consciousness and quantum physics has proven that as we objectively observe, or even subjectively observe the world around us, we change it, we create it.
We just let it ride, you know? Put it all on black and let it fucking ride. I love it.
We manipulate it. That is the power of our free will. That is the power of our consciousness. So today, for this live video, I am going to be human for
God,
all of you.
And
I'm sorry if I'm like totally sweating. It's super hot over here in Southern California. I just got off a really awesome workout myself and then hopped in the pool. So yeah, so bear with me, especially with this information. It's going to heat things up a little bit. So today, I'm going to talk about cutting your cords with other people because channel your information, okay? Political science in university.
Yeah, this is interesting because she has a degree in political science.
I really feel like a lot of us had an ego death, even just a minor one in June. So hang in there, everyone, and hopefully you're feeling a lot better. Before I dive into Trump as a light worker, I want you all to tell me, what do you think about Trump? Okay, I know that it's a public forum, and I know you don't want to get hated on.
You really want me? I will stop this live stream right now. YouTube will cut my channel forever if you really want to know. But, you know, again, it's about love, and I can't change anybody as much as I want to. That's just the way it is. Quantum physics has proven that if you flip a coin, it will come up human some of the time, alien afterlife other of the times. Oh my God. So funny. My ego died. So I'm the most humble person ever now. Oh my God, it's so funny. Oh my God, you guys are hilarious.
But screw it. This is a public forum, you know, this is who I am. I put my stuff out there and my opinion out there all the time and get hated on. So tell me, be vulnerable. What is your opinion of Trump? And even if you're like, I don't have an opinion, I don't feed into that, that's cool. Tell me where you guys stand with Trump and the government. Some of you are Canadians, by the way, happy Canada Day. I'm Canadian myself. So I just want to let everyone know, I'm Canadian, I'm pretty objective. I did, however, study political science in university. So I was really heavy into corruption and fear and the Illuminati and reptilians, and we're going to talk about the Illuminati and reptilians today as well. So hang in there. Okay, so some people are neutral. Let's see. They hate on him so much. Okay, he's a racist. Yeah, okay. Not a fan of Trump. Trump's a hero. Oh my goodness, I love this. I love it. Like polarity, right? We gotta play with polarity. What else?
All this stuff.
Okay, Trump is backed by the alliance. Trump's a hero. Okay, I don't trust
I don't
Trump.
trust him because
Okay,
he's a
yeah,
man.
fantastic. Okay, cool. Let's see.
Trump doesn't
Facebook. Any
realize he's a light
opinions?
worker.
Scares you?
A light worker. Now, do you
Okay,
guys know
what
what a
else?
light worker is? Like, I'm not even sure what that means. Is that somebody who just like puts positive vibes into the air, like a monk or something? Reptilian sex is violent. I can only imagine. Actually, man, I saw some turtles do it once, and it was beautiful. They were like spinning plates in the water with the little turtle claws on the back, just spinning through the. I mean, I guess that's not. I mean, they're not. I mean, they're reptiles, but they're a specific kind of reptile. It was honestly, it was a lot more romantic than I ever thought it would be. It's it's a lot more romantic than any of the sex I've ever known. No. Lucifer's the light bearer. Okay, that's okay. That makes sense. Sure, I can see that. Yep, the light bringer. I've heard that before. I don't know. Except for the turtles. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that I shamed you into apologizing, because that is really what we need to be focusing on right now. Shame, and you should be judged by not only what you do but what you don't do. That's hey, that's big. We've got to make you compliant. But don't worry, Trump's a light worker. Here's why.
Okay, the dark will bring down the dark. Ooh, okay, very cool. Some really awesome opinions. Definitely way more opinions on YouTube, and definitely way more polarities on YouTube as well. But I always tend to find that on YouTube. Facebook is usually quite neutral, you guys, about your opinions. Okay. So, once again, I need to talk about Trump, because Trump is the epitome of polarity. Trump is the epitome of polarity right now at this time. And it's really wild, because we have one guy, we have one situation, of course we have the one president here in America, and we've got the most extreme, the most stark view of Trump, okay? And you know what? I have something that I want to state. Before I state that, and some of you may not like this, you may love it, I'm going to actually just channel. I'm going to tune into the Galactic Federation. I wasn't planning on doing this, but it really just came to me.
Impromptu.
I'm going to channel. Now, I have to let everyone know that when I channel information, it means that I have to separate my ego, my 26-year-old self, from my consciousness. So when I channel, I stay as objective and as neutral as possible. So most of the time,
all right, I just want to say, I will never be able to top this comically. There's nothing that I will ever do. I could become the next Bill Burr or Dave Chappelle, and I'm still not going to be better than this right here. This is pure gold. Pure gold. And I don't even have to say anything. But I want to see what you guys are saying. This is the best thing ever. This is the best part of the video. This is what I was so excited to show you guys. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's so funny. Oh man. But she's about to channel for us, guys, and this is priceless. Now, she doesn't channel like our friend Bashar. Bashar's. Good evening, and how is everyone? I'm Bashar. He's like just hating on everybody. It's real funny. That's good stuff. If you want to see more of those clips, I recommend the last live that I did. She will just, not to spoil it for you, but she doesn't do it quite like that. Will says, I'm channeling all your donations to an off-planet account. Well, thank God. We've got to avoid those interest rates. Yeah, Tushar. I've been thinking about doing, maybe working on that. I just haven't written it yet, but it's almost too easy. All right, so back to, let's see how Boo channels.
Galactic Federation will not tell me their opinion about something, especially when it's this active, right? So I don't even know if I'm going to get an answer from the Galactic Federation on Trump, but I'm really curious, and I'm going to tune in while you guys are watching.
A couple of sips of matcha tea first. That gets
okay,
tied
just
right
one
in.
second. Ah, yes. Yeah.
If you're still trying to figure out how to start an
No!
online business or how to get people to actually buy from you over the internet, I have some really
Moment was precious.
Okay. Okay.
Somebody's been watching Eckhart Tolle videos.
Whoa. Oh, interesting. Okay. So bear with me. All right, guys? Like, just hang in there. And it's funny because I will get a lot of conspiracy people on this live video. And once again, I'm going to get a lot of triggers. But take it or leave it. I'm not pushing this stuff on anyone. You chose to be here, right? This is your free will. Okay, so I just tapped in. So I'll tell you all, I astral traveled over to the Galactic Federation. It's a giant mothership that hangs out right outside of Earth's atmosphere. I went to the Palladian Security Council, which is usually who I go to check out Trump stuff, or not Trump stuff, but human earthbound stuff, right? So they told me about the volcano in Hawaii, and you know, if you've been watching me for long enough, you'll know some of the predictions that I've made. They told me about the huge Antarctic ice shelf that broke off about a year ago. They told me about that. Anyway, so I went to them, and I've never really asked them about Trump because I don't really get myself involved in the bullshit of the back and forth of this, you know, polarity reality. So anyway, so I go there and I say, okay, tell me about Trump. What's going on? And I had a Palladian come to me, and he was giving me telepathic information.
Isn't it Pleiadian?
Once again, it's going to be triggering. It's okay. Right. They brought up Hitler. Okay, it's so bad.
Okay.
They brought up Hitler as a person, okay? And they said that both, they're not comparing them, but I guess they brought him up for a comparison. They said both Trump and Hitler kind of came to this planet with a similar mission. What? Not exactly the same, though, because Trump hasn't killed, like actually been firsthand at killing millions of souls, right? He didn't kill millions of people. He hasn't, you know, he's inflicted some damage. Anyway, and so they were comparing them, and they basically, the Galactic Federation, the Palladians were telling me that they both came here with a similar mission. Okay, so that's it. They just brought up Hitler, and they said, hey, you know, similar mission. Leave it at that.
Similar
then they
mission.
told me, okay, that
Who are these fucking Pleiadians, man? We need to round them up. Similar mission? Holy hell. I don't understand how that's possible. That Galactic Federation is, well, a bunch of eugenicists, frankly. It must be. Good God, man. Oh, my God. Let's see. I want what she's smoking. Yeah, it's got to be good. It's got to be good. Oh, man. This one gives white girls a bad name. She can just do anything, though. Joseph Stolen. Hello, how you doing? Does she know that the moon is no spaceship? I don't know, man. Let's find out more about that. Now, this is crazy. The Hitler thing. I'm just like, oh my God. I forgot about that, actually. But now I'm intrigued. I
Trump, what was it?
Hey everybody,
No,
I'm
come
Laura
on.
Trump. President Trump's birthday is right around the corner, and we want to do something really special.
All right.
Yes, okay. So they did this, not
so
the
plastic
Hitler thing,
surgery,
but they
it's
did
not.
this, and they did this as a soldier, okay, as a soldier going to battle. And they called Trump a soldier. He's a soldier. And from what they told me, okay, Trump, and they were unsure of actually disclosing his species, but Trump is connected to the Anunnaki, but I believe that all of our lifetimes, both past and future, are all connected to the cause. So, I mean, he could be an Anunnaki, he could be a Palladian, he could be a reptilian, he could be all these things, right? So don't get caught up in just the one thing. Anyway, and so they
We
said...
don't need to get racist about alien, past, alien DNA, whatever that is.
That originally, before he was ever human, as a soul, he came from the Anunnaki, and they said that he decided to be a soldier. He decided to volunteer himself to be in this position in this lifetime. I don't know if he's consciously aware of who he is or like what his actual mission is. I don't know if he's more of just kind of going through the motions. I'm not sure what kind of game he's playing, right? I don't know if it's a very conscious game of him saying, I know exactly what I'm doing and I'm gonna do it and
What
no
are the
one's gonna
odds
know
there?
that I know. Or if he is actually just as such a buffoon and aloof as he kind of comes across as. Anyway, and so so they said that he's a soldier. He came from the Anunnakis. He wrote his contracts to be here on this planet. This is definitely not his first time on this planet. He has been on the planet before. No, he is not this. He is not the reincarnation of Hitler. So even though they brought him up and they compared, not the reincarnation. That's very clear.
Man, that's very clear. I don't know. I'm not convinced. So I'm really, she doesn't really go anywhere with this. She's just backpedaling mostly and saying a bunch of ridiculous stuff. Let's see. That pesky moon is obviously a Death Star. It's so much, dude. It's too much. I can't even. I mean, it's hard for me. I've seen this twice, and I didn't make notes either time, mostly because I was rolling on the floor just laughing at it because it's so funny, But she's not really going anywhere here. She just starts backpedaling and saying all this weird stuff. She's got herself into quite a predicament here, as you can see. We can follow up for a couple minutes. Let's see where she goes from here. Let's see if my memory serves me correctly. But I want to bounce to the sort of end of this. It takes forever. The rest of this, I think, is just mostly just a long promotion. It's just a long promotion for her Gaia channel.
Clear. They said that when he was an Anunnaki being a long time ago, he made a huge mistake. And his mistake had something to do with believing that he was on the right track and then leading his people down the wrong path. And so there was something, but they're not telling me all the information about what his mistake was.
They're not telling
And they
me.
said that he volunteered. He decided to volunteer his time and his energy and his soul to be here, to basically put himself into harm's way. Bit of a sacrifice here. To take the blows, to take the hits.
Okay, so what's really woke? The fact that this video has 34,786 views is a little bit troubling to me. Okay? There's a lot of people on this Q bandwagon, and understand. I want a simple solution to this. I want to trust the plan. I want to not have to do anything. But unfortunately, that's just not reality. So, to wrap that thought out, it's not what it's not like. I just don't think maybe so. I'll be open-minded about pretty much whatever. But I'm not buying this. The whole Q thing. It doesn't trust the plan. Don't do anything. You're telling me to not do anything. That's not a plan. And I don't understand why all this stuff is getting shared, anyway. But now she's just backpedaling, talking about his past lives, Pleiadians, reptilians, all of this other stuff. And it's completely, of course, inconsequential and has no bearing in the reality that we face collectively. But she does eventually get to a point here. Allow me to skip ahead a little bit. I'm going to check on you guys. As the double speak. Yeah, well, she's a lesbian. So imagine how thirsty a guy has to be to listen to that. Oh, I'm not buying the Q thing. Dude, I looked into it a little bit and I was like, oh, interesting. Look at that. Because there was, so if you guys look it up, there was a dude in around the Great Depression time who was a part of the Marines. God, he has the funniest name too. It's something, damn, now I'm going blank on it. But he had written this teeny tiny pamphlet called War is a Racket, and his name was Smedley Butler. Smedley Butler. Anyway, there was an attempted coup on FDR, And I mean, I don't know what's going on behind the scenes with these reptiles, right? With these Pleiadians and all these other, crazy space races. And I don't know how to feel about all that. That's equally triggering. But, I mean, these things have, happened before where we've mostly done it, just thrown over galaxies, Star Wars looking galaxies and stuff. All right. So at a certain point here, I think it's around here, she makes a good point.
Fantastic. Great. Maybe someone else came across Trump to have this surge of
Boy, she is making some ad revenue. The max. She's got it maxed out. So that's cool.
hate come up in them. That's okay, right? Either case, that was needed for them in that moment. There is no objective right and wrong. There just is what it is in the moment. So here is the tool that all of you guys can utilize
I want to talk about that.
discern.
There are objective right and wrongs in this simulation. There are. Let's go back to the non-aggression principle. I mean, it's really simple. It's really simple. So that's, again, bad philosophy. The non-aggression principle. Look it up if you are not familiar with the non-aggression principle.
Discern for yourself. And it's super easy because you guys already have the capacity to do this. This isn't something you have to go out and buy. It's not something that you have to go search for. It's here. It's inside of you. Every single day, every single moment. It's right here. Okay? Exactly. Listen to your heart.
I couldn't
Listen
agree more.
to your intuition. Your soul knows
So I might
that
have
this
missed the
guy
part.
Q is out there. It's great to be aware.
Okay, here it is. Sorry.
It's so incredible. So as far as QAnon, I looked into this phenomenon. I looked into this guy. I looked into a couple of the cryptic messages and, Trump kind of picking them up, and definitely seems like those two guys are kind of working together, right? I don't know what else is going on. I haven't really looked into much else, like at a physical level about it. Okay, so it's great that we have individuals who are sharing their perspective in the opposite capacity, right? I'm not going to say that QAnon is truth or not truth. I'm not going to say that Trump is truth or not truth. I'm not going to say that even Anonymous is truth or not truth. Okay, I'm not. What I want to say to all of you, hold on. A trip. Can I get a reading by my,
Really?
hold on, by my name sometime? Yes, sometime. If you want to email me, maybe we can set that up. I will be opening up readings moving forward at a quite random capacity. So, but yes,
what
thank
it
you.
would
Okay,
cost.
so QAnon. So, look, it's great to just be aware that the government is corrupt. It's great to be aware that
said
this
it,
guy
not me.
Q is out there. It's great to be aware of Trump. It's great to be aware that the leaves fall and fall. It's great to be aware that it gets cold in the winter. It's great to be aware that it gets hot in the summer, right? It's great to be aware of all of these things. But at the same time, it's not good to get too caught up in all I ever want is the heat or all I ever want is the cold, right? So what I want to say about QAnon is QAnon is part of a massive distraction technique. Trump is a part of a massive distraction technique. Religion is part of a
Okay. 43 minutes and 37 seconds. And we finally have the answer. Thank you, Elizabeth April. It is a distraction. Shocker. Who saw that coming? Hold on. Let me just check with my guides here. Just gonna listen. Interesting. Oh, you don't say. Well, thank you. Yeah, I do. I do feel better. Thank you for asking. Okay. Oh, stop. All right. All right. I got a clear message. My guides have confirmed everything that Elizabeth April just said. It's a distraction. What's really woke, folks? It's really about the principles, okay? Like, we can present information time and time again, but how do we get these principles across? The principle of love and nonviolence, the non-aggression principle, the things that really actually made a difference in humanity, in our history, the things that Jesus preached about, and the things that Gandhi talked about, the things that Dr. Martin Luther King spoke about. These are the types of things. We just have to shift our attention away from the current system. And it doesn't even take that much. It really doesn't take more than 10, 15% of the population to make a huge difference. I don't think this is going to go through. I think it's going to get pretty hairy, though. I'll be honest there. Tracy says Q is real, leaving this horrible room of ignoramas. Okay, cool. And you're fine to have that opinion, I'm not mad. I hope that that's true. Again, I don't mean any disrespect. Okay. She did love my work. Oh, I'm so sorry. We're rude. Okay. Shouldn't knock somebody. Okay, that's fair. I'm not trying to knock anybody, really. I'm really just having fun. I believe in this stuff, actually. I believe in a lot of these ideas, and I've made these declarations before. I just sometimes forget. So sorry you're offended, Tracy. I don't buy the Q narrative. Sorry, but that doesn't mean we can't be friends, and it doesn't mean that we can't respectfully disagree. I think this whole video is interesting. She touches on some interesting points. She makes some good points. And like I said, at the end of the video, she makes an excellent point right here. Listen to your heart, she said. And she said, Trump is a distraction. I completely agree with my boo. All right. Like, I don't think I guess you must not understand the soul connection, Bless you, Tracy. I hope that, that Q is real. I guess what I would like better is if we shifted. Hey, Wanda, you're the best. Can I just say that you're the best, Wanda? I love you. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to apologize for me not biting it, because I'm not eating that. I'm not like part of that. I don't like any group. I've said it 4 times in this video. I don't go with any group. And I don't think you should too. It's stupid. It's a way that you get tricked and trapped and forced and shamed and manipulated into doing things you ordinarily wouldn't do. You wouldn't do that, but everybody else says that you have to, which creates a group energy, which is a tulpa, which becomes an egregore, or a pendulum, whatever you want to call it. I'm not really, there's a lot of different words, thought form, energetic informational structure, and then we become that thing. It's like, bless you. I hope that you come back or don't. I mean, I don't care. It's okay. I'm not upset either way. Of course, I want you to identify with me and be part of what we're talking about here. But again, it's really about individual being your authentic self. And people are going to come. People are going to go through this way, that way. And if talking about the Q thing is triggering and you don't you don't want to hear it, then consider for a moment that you're polarized about it, and that it might be something that you should try to work through your emotions. There's a lot of ideas that we all share in. Like I said, I believe in channeling. I think it's absolutely the truth, and we share in a lot of ideas, but I like to make fun of everything. I want to be ultimately 100% clear about that. Everything to me is funny in a way, and I think it's an important thing to do to keep yourself in a good headspace, to be able to allow yourself humor and allow yourself to be wrong too, because I mean, I looked into the whole Q thing. I just didn't think it was, I just didn't believe it. It's so cryptic and, I don't think so. But I mean, if you want to identify with that Q group and not as an individual, then I think that, again, that's what I'm trying to talk about here. What's really woke. So, I mean, I've been triggered a lot this week. It's the biggest paradox in the world right now. Good Lord. Oh my God. Have mercy. Yeah, Will, you are so funny. I haven't been really paying attention to the chat, but I believe it. Let's see. It blows me away. She has so many followers. Thank you, Wanda. I love humor. Yeah, humor is so important, guys. I mean, we are going to die. It's going to happen. I think, probably, hopefully. God, I don't want to be like uploaded into some stupid database or something. I don't know why anybody would want that anyways. But, you know, we're going to die and we're getting out of this mess, you know. Come Q or high water, something's going to happen. And if that were to happen, that'd be great. But I would never put all my eggs in that basket. Why would you do that? That seems foolish. To buy a narrative, like I talked about in the last live stream, you know, and I've talked about on the podcast, believing that you're going to be sucked away by a bugle, or you're going to go into another reality because of your beliefs, then man, I wouldn't put all my stock in that. I think that's foolish. I mean, I don't think I need to explain that anymore. But I do want to say, you know, no disrespect to you, and God bless you on your journey, man. Like, I'm an open-minded person. I'm definitely, I don't want to cause division here. That's not the point. The point is that we all are, you know, we all are one. We're all individual, but we're all also one. And that's a weird thing, but it's true. And we want to, connect, and I want to connect with you guys, and I appreciate you for hanging out with me on the live stream. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me on the live stream. I'm still kind of new to all this. I'd like to get some calls next time. I've already gone over an hour, which is way too much. But I just appreciate it. I'm trying to do a lot of stuff, creating a lot of content, a lot of books. And again, it's about the principle. It's not about the group. So, you know, again, freedom, you know, no treason. We own ourselves, guys. I think that's a very important point. And, you know, I just want to encourage you all for doing everything that you know you should do. Listen to your heart. Just like my boo, Elizabeth April, tells you, listen to your heart. Everything else is a distraction other than what is going on the inside of us. And love is all there is, and it doesn't matter beyond that. So yeah. So Will, this is a great point to end on. He says, I literally overcame psychosis. It took time, but no one is beyond redemption. Lehman says exactly. I love redemption. It's the most beautiful thing. I couldn't agree more. The Royal Tenenbaums is my favorite movie, or at least it was for a very long time, because look at the redemption. Look at Gene Hackman at the end of that film. And I mean, he's great in the middle of it too. Hilarious. But it's ultimately about redemption. And it gets dark, man. That's a very dark comedy. But it's all about redemption. And no one is too far gone. And, you know, if we sit here and talk about him, try to show people information and stuff, it's about principle. We all know what to do because we're guided by our inner constitution, an inner guide. So it's inherent. Go with that. We all know this. And other than that, I'm just trying to have fun and lose followers. You know, that's what I'm going for. Otherwise, but no, thank you guys so much. I'm going to see if I can't pull up this jam here and get it going on for the end of the podcast, because I am hopeful that I can. This is my jam right here. It's my favorite one, Will. Thank you for letting me use it. This is going to play us out.